BMW is a brand for guys in tracksuits. They talk about sports all day, but never set foot on the field. On one hand, we have an iconic brand synonymous with performance, rear-wheel drive, and legendary engines. The brand that has made enthusiasts' hearts beat faster since the 70s and sells sedans like their Solar missiles. Everything is consistent in their storytelling, from the ads and slogans to the trim levels and shared design identity across all models, which emphasize dynamism and power at every opportunity. But on the other hand, there's an inconvenient truth. Avoid at the pinnacle a dark gap in the brand's history. And a question that no one really dares to ask: how can a manufacturer that claims to embody ultimate sportiness never have been able to produce a real supercar? No in-house Ferrari, no competitor for its rivals like the Audi R8 or Mercedes Aufrecht Melcher Grossasbach Gran Turismo nothing? Lexus ventured with the V10-powered LFA. BMW's latest endeavor is the 8. A concept-like car with butterfly doors that make more noise than its engine. BMW, with its large grills, could be considered the T-Rex of the automotive industry. An animal that's instantly recognizable and scares everyone, but upon closer look, it's all bark and no bite. And that's where the question gets fascinating. How can the fiercest, most arrogant and sportiest brand on the planet exist without a real sports car? Is it an oversight, weakness, or a deliberate strategy? In this video, we'll explore the paradox of why BMW struggles to make a sports car by examining history, failures, and potentially genius. BMW can now put an M badge on any series, even diesel, without surprise, due to a lifetime spent building an image as a driver's machine. To truly grasp this, let's explore BMW's history, starting with the BMW Brutus, one of the brand's earliest wild creations from 1917, which started from a pretty simple idea: putting an airplane engine in a car. I'll skip BMW's World War II history details, as many good videos cover the topic. Remember, by the end of the conflict, BMW was devastated. In 1945, Mercedes-Benz, its main competitor today, was already well established. It's the brand of the bourgeoisie, prestige, and engineers in suits. Despite the bombing of the Stuttgart factory, the brand recovered rapidly. In 1951, it restarted production with the 300, a limousine for ministers and CEOs. 3 years later, it released the 300 SL, an innovative supercar with gull-wing doors and direct injection. Meanwhile, Mercedes swiftly rejoined racing and dominated Formula One with Juan Manuel Fangio, cementing its image of technological superiority and control dominance. In essence, Mercedes exudes excellence, prestige, and superiority with a calm demeanor. The brand is already seen as a leader, while BMW is on the other side. At the time, they're struggling. The primary Munich factory is partly destroyed. The Allies temporarily forbid them from building cars, and they have to survive by making pots and pans. From 1954 to 1962, it was a genuine fight for survival. They manufacture motorcycles and compact city vehicles, such as the Italian licensed Isetta. However, the company is on the verge of financial ruin. Daimler-Benz attempts to acquire BMW, and that's where the story takes a turn. Private shareholders, including the Quandt family, invest in BMW, reject the merger, and relaunch the company with a more aggressive, popular, and technical strategy. This is the birth of the famous Nuyo and Classe sedans, the 1500, the 1800, and then the 2002 in the 60s. Compact, dynamic, affordable, and driver-centric, a stark contrast to Mercedes. Everything starts anew from that point. In 1972, BMW wasn't yet a brand known for leasing SUVs. The 3.0 Coupe Sport Leichtbau, nicknamed the Batmobile due to its intimidating aerodynamic features, was a monster of its time. It doesn't end with the BMW 3.0 Coupe Sport Leichtbau. In the 80s and 90s, it became the nightmare of paddocks, national circuits, and touring car championships. With cars close to production models but tuned to kill, the British Touring Car Championship is a legendary racing series where top brands compete with modified family sedans. BMW enters like an invader. In 1988, Frank Sittner won the championship with an M3 E30 against Sierra Cosworth's and Cavalier's Grand Sport injection. BMW won over fans by beating the English with rear-wheel drive, while the United Kingdom only had feisty front-wheel drives. The successes continued with race wins, podiums, and a technical dominance that crowned the M3 as the queen of touring cars. But the real playground is the Deutsche Tourenwagenmeisterschaft, the German Touring Car Championship. It's like tank warfare at 250 km/h, and it's no joke. BMW entered in the 80s with its M3 E30 and won the 1987 championship with Eric van der Poel. Then came the war years against Mercedes, Opel, and Alfa Romeo with epic battles. With highly advanced cars and an excited fan base, BMW set the standard in touring car racing, claiming multiple constructors' titles and iconic wins with drivers like Roberto Ravaglia and Johnny Cecotto, cementing the image of the BMW driver. A guy who's aggressive, fast, and ruthless. Even after their late return to the new Deutsche Tourenwagenmeisterschaft in 2012, BMW made a strong impact. Bruno Spengler wins the title in the very first comeback season as if the brand had never left. Then comes F1, and that's no joke. He first arrives as an engine supplier in the 80s, producing insanely powerful engines. The M1213 is a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine used by Brabham, then Arrows and Benetton. In qualifying mode, this engine exceeds 1400 horsepower and is still considered today as the most powerful engine ever built. To drive on a formula track that's still 1400 horsepower in an engine the size of a Clio? It seems that the engine block was so violent that the mechanics say it would deform after each run, and they would only restart it once before replacing it. In 1983, Nelson Piquet became world champion with this engine, and BMW entered the legend of the craziest engine manufacturers in F1 history. For over half a century, the Bavarian brand has incorporated the racing spirit into its production models. The timeless grille design makes it visually distinctive. The powerful engine, piercing angel eyes, and dynamic Hofmeister kick in the side view. So that we really get the feeling that BMWs want to bite the road. The long hood and stretched dash-to-axle line give the impression that everything is designed to create the perfect production supercar. In Germany, they know how to make cars. Alongside Porsche's aura and Volkswagen's popularity, Audi, Mercedes and BMW are the three dominant car brands in Germany. In the 2000s, they were known for their technology, rigor and efficiency, but fell short when it came to inspiring childhood dreams. In 2006 at the Paris Motor Show, Audi unveiled the 8, a supercar named after the car that dominated Le Mans for 5 years. Futuristic design, mid-engine layout, rear, quattro transmission. Most notably, the V8 4.2 from the Rennsport, 4 and later, the V10 were used by Lamborghini. A supercar with a Gallardo engine designed to be usable every day, which immediately becomes a pop icon. The Audi featured in Iron Man receives critical acclaim, elevating the brand to new heights. Before the R8, it was a brand for engineers, but due to the R8's halo effect on the lineup, it became a desirable brand. Mercedes' approach contrasts with BMW's. They haven't always been sporty, but when they go for it, they go all in. After getting everyone on board with the SLS Aufrecht Melcher Grossasbach and its gull-wing doors, like the 300 SL they followed up in 2014, the Aufrecht Melcher Grossasbach Gran Turismo, a V8 biturbo-powered rear-wheel drive Gran Turismo Coupe, is designed to rival the Porsche 911. It works with a sharp chassis, sleek design, and radical versions up to the record-setting Black Series at the Nürburgring. The car competes in Gran Turismo 3 and Gran Turismo 4 classes, serving as the global showcase for Mercedes Aufrecht Melcher Grossasbach, and in 2022 he presents us the Mercedes Aufrecht Melcher Grossasbach 1 with a Formula engine. A hybrid V6 engine derived from a world champion, showcasing technology that no other German automaker has attempted. BMW has all the ingredients for a supercar: powerful engines, passionate engineers, and a remarkable history. Yet nothing. The Bavarians have made multiple attempts, but each time they have faced sabotage, abandonment, or bluffs. In 1978, the brand decided to make a genuine race car for the road and released the M1, an extremely ambitious project developed with Lamborghini for the chassis and an incredible Giugiaro design. The objective was to fully prepare a car for Group 4 racing competition. Tri-tubular chassis, 6-cylinder inline 3.5-liter engine with 277 horsepower rear-wheel drive and a purebred supercar design. However, that's when the issues began. Lamborghini was nearly bankrupt at the time and production was in disarray. Chassis were made in Italy and Germany. BMW took over the project just before disaster struck. However, the M1's fate was sealed when championship rules changed, making it too specialized for group racing and not specialized enough for profitable production. BMW created the Pro Car Championship, where drivers from various categories, including Formula, raced in identical M cars on Saturdays before the Grand Prix. The Pro Car is nice but commercially pointless, ending after 2 seasons. The M1 symbolizes failure. But at the very beginning of the 90s, BMW tries its luck again and secretly works on a crazy project. The M8, based on the 8 Series 512 naturally aspirated manual gearbox and over 550 horsepower. At this level, it's not a supercar, it's basically an intercontinental missile. The project, although functional and ready to drive, is hidden away by the brand for 2 decades, never seeing the light of day. We're not just talking about finalized plans, we're talking about a real working car that stays hidden for 2 decades. Why? It would be too costly, exclusive, risky, in short, too passionate and unreasonable for the BMW brand. It's like the author of The Lord of the Rings writing it but not publishing because the timing isn't right. Here we go again. A few years later, designer Fabrizio Giugiaro, Giorgetto Giugiaro's son, created the BMW Nasca M12 with Ital design, followed by the Nasca C2 and Nasca V12. These were BMW concept cars with V12 engines designed to rival the Ferrari F40 or Lamborghini Diablo. The sublime, futuristic and aerodynamic design resembles a Bavarian McLaren F1 with its mid-engine layout, low stance and carbon bodywork. And above all, the project is ready to become a real road car. But in the end, BMW never gives the green light and lets Italdesign go around in circles. No production prototype or limited series. The NASCAR remains in magazines, dreams and fan forums where it's still considered the best BMW never made. BMW tries again in 2014. The i8 is launched as a technological showcase rather than a brutal supercar. It had an incredible look, carbon chassis, butterfly doors, four-wheel drive. On paper, it's Batman's car, but on the road, it's a hybrid Mini Cooper. 1.5 L 3-cylinder turbo rear engine, front electric motor, lacks excitement and impact with sound resembling a combination of a DJI drone and an Hewlett-Packard printer. BMW takes another risk but doesn't fully commit. The i8 could have been a supercar lab, but despite its stunning design, it's a concept that's too civilized. Sold to those who want to look fast but never are. It's always the same story. BMW comes close to legend, then backs away as if they're afraid of reaching the top. They can do it all, but won't make their heritage the ultimate icon. They create plans, prototypes and demos, but fall short of the dream. We've seen it together. BMW doesn't make a supercar, but they have everything it takes. And I think they've deliberately decided never to fully play in the big leagues, because when you look closely, it can't be laziness. It's a strategic choice, not a lack of talent. An R8 Aufrecht Melcher Großaspach, Gran Turismo or Aufrecht Melcher Großaspach 1 is just a fantasy. You see it, you admire it, you want it, but you know that for that, you have to get up early. BMW. They do the opposite, selling you the feeling that you've already reached the top, rather than showing you the unreachable peak. If you drive an M3, you're part of the club, but with a 330 M-Pack, you're already in the vibe. And even a 118 DM edition makes you think you can set lap times at Hockenheim. While others create halo cars to make their lineup desirable, they've industrialized sportiness and normalized driving pleasure. They aim to convince you that you don't need a supercar because you're already living the experience rather than proving they can make one. It's a mainstream brand that mass produces, understanding that for most people, including enthusiasts, true domination doesn't occur at the highest level. Supercars are loud, flashy and impractical for everyday use on the street. If you go up a curb, you scrape it, and if you park it badly, you'll cry. A BMW is the choice of the purist driver who enjoys early morning fun on a mountain road. Then come back, drop the kids off at school without changing cars. You want to overtake going uphill, you want to push a bit on back roads, you want to do 0 to 60 in 5 seconds in a station wagon, BMW lets you do it without compromise. They've turned sportiness into functionality. While Mercedes sells superiority and Audi sells progress, BMW markets a lifestyle. Just look at how they've actually created a highly divisive culture with a tribe of fans and a brand that's as polarizing as possible. You either love it or hate it. But if you love it, you don't buy their car just for the specs. You're signing up for the legend, the rear-wheel drive, the 6-cylinder engine, the steering feel, the famous driving pleasure. They've infused it throughout the entire lineup. As a result, you don't need a supercar because for them, real luxury is being able to do everything in a single car. To them, an Aufrecht Melcher Großaspach Gran Turismo is impressive but only suitable for weekends, while an M5 offers luxury, space, all-wheel drive and 600 horsepower. Your family enjoys a road trip vacation once you pass the toll booth. That's the philosophy. BMW isn't about being spectacular but super efficient. It's not the unattainable dream, but the everyday dream. That's genius. Perhaps BMW never knew how or wanted to create a supercar because they grasped a deeper truth. True sportiness is about overtaking an R8 in a station wagon, not just owning one.